Greetings, this is Bar 1 Scorpio, that's B as in boy, A-R, the number 1, Scorpio, S-C-O-R-P-I-O, just like the zodiac sign. Welcome to Bar 1's Haunted Scrapbook. Tonight's review concerns Mid-Michigan's newest haunted attraction, Awaken, located online at awakenhaunt.com. Awaken premieres rising from the ashes of the Boneyard, with some of the former team members moving from Stockbridge to Leslie, Michigan, off the 127, almost exactly halfway between Jackson and Lansing. While their tickets, and in the case of Michigan Haunters Association, tickets and their stubs can prove quite important, were fairly plain, the flyer ads were well designed, giving a clue that an experienced haunt crew that knew the profession was in charge. Parking at the converted used car dealership was convenient, with porta-johns plentiful in well-lit areas on both sides of the structure. I'd even suggest their amenities were second in number only to Blake's Haunted Orchard for that consideration. Snacks were provided by a food cart serving hot and cold beverages, chips and grilled items, and even mini donuts that I simply had to indulge in. It wasn't exactly a full-on Famous Graves barbecue pit, but you weren't going to be left desperately reaching for anything at hand to snack on. On the inside, their use of the lobby for interior waiting was much appreciated. Some haunts might have covered up those outer windows and boarded them up, using them for additional haunt space and let the customers wait in the rain, but keeping not only the lines and doors but the glass open did a good job in turning the lines into a welcoming display. Speaking of displays, there was a photo op diorama in the same lobby. Yes, that's a photo of me in front of a 2D backdrop, not an actual wall. Another good idea that comes from solid experience is to keep peak lines entertained. And this they did on varying night, hosting terrestrial radio station Q106, had Magic Mike performing tricks for the people waiting in line, even hosting a zombie belly dance troupe on select nights. And with that space available, who knows how they could expand their line entertainment. Halloween costume contest, horror trivia show with prizes, zombie limbo with Barbados Slim. The Awaken team seemed keen on ensuring your time in line felt as short as possible, so I'm sure they'll improve on 2016's efforts. On the inside, I don't want to reveal too much of their hard work, only to say that much of the effects look to be scratch-built over manufactured, and I'll guess that, like the crew at Hush, there was more than one haunt engineer with experience in automotive mechanics. Decor from room to room never seemed overdone or distracting. It was often sensible and clean. A problem I personally have is when a haunt overdoes each item, turning it into a spaghetti on the walls mess that then distracts from the scare actors' performances. While the haunt didn't have much of an overarching narrative, those rooms were laid out in a way that felt like a natural progression from vignette to vignette. Industrial sections with autos, and backwoods cabins, underground mines even though you're on ground level, and a vortex tunnel. And on the note that I mentioned, that clean, non-distracting decor meant I encountered perhaps the best hidden drop panel I've ever seen. She got me. Utterly surprised as I worked my way around a corner, expecting an old truck to begin honking loudly. Instead, I get the sudden bang of a drop panel from my side. One I had absolutely zero anticipation of. For an enthusiast who's been going to haunted attractions on a weekly basis throughout the haunt season like me, that's incredibly hard to do. Straight from the creator's mouths, this girl in goggles and goth punk clothing was actually using a CCTV camera monitor to watch customers as they came through. They'd gone high tech and the cleverly disguised drop panel and used it as a setup to second scare perfectly. And their scare actors were more than just jump and roar or fresh meat. I never heard that phrase once at Awaken. Great sign. They had real characters that existed in the space of their rooms. Even the ubiquitous creepy clowns had their own unique style. And now to the numbers. Amenities. 4 out of 5. Even if you're stuck with the traditional outdoor porta-johns, there's enough of them that you won't be stuck crossing your legs waiting for your turn. This is, after all, an industry that relies on scaring the crap out of you. Snacks, 4 out of 5, solid effort, and the food cart itself had a decent variety of offerings. Nothing takes the rusty edge off a chill October night in Michigan like a hot beverage in your hands. Lines, 5 out of 5. Indoors, entertained, need I say more? Nothing hurts a haunt more like the long wait, or at least the perception of a long wait. Having entertainers on peak nights was an excellent move on their part. Having extras always is. Props and decor. 4 out of 5 for each room. From the first ominous hallway to the final blow-off, each room was subtle, controlled. Nothing clashed or cluttered. But there weren't that many set-piece props or animatronics as well. Performers, 4 out of 5. Everyone knows that you could have drab, knockdown plywood for your walls if you only have good scare actors to turn such drab surroundings into believable environments. And Awaken hosted a solid, well-trained team that came at you from all angles, even from above. Narrative. While there's no overarching theme to Awaken or a through-line story arc, each section was treated well enough to stand as its own vignette. So 3.5 out of 5. Now those are my main 6 categories. We'll run the average of those and come up with your final score. But there's also an additional section called extras, and for here they get a plus 0.5 points for the photo op backdrop that they also made into as many civic events as they advertised throughout the year. And let's add that they're definitely part of their community, making appearances at the How to Halloween and Blood Bash events, and another plus 0.5 for zombie belly dancers. Final score. Average of 6 categories, 4.25 jack-o'-lanterns. This is a strong showing for any haunt's inaugural year and can really only go up from here as each room is refined and the cast gains experience to deliver even better scares. I heartily recommend the trip out to Leslie, Michigan, and hope for the best of them in the future. If you enjoyed this video, you can find Bar 1 Scorpio's artwork online at deviantart.com, furaffinity.net, and hentaifoundry.com. Bar 1 Scorpio appears on social media on Twitter, LiveJournal, Tumblr, PhotoBucket, and Minds.com. Seek out his streaming channel on Picarto.tv and YouTube. And of course, you can support his efforts via Patreon.